This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Good evening. Welcome to the, let me start recording here. Welcome to the Easthampton City Council Public Safety Meeting. Chair Owen Zara. We have Councilor Munier in attendance as well. And Councilor Derby is not able to make it. We do have minutes from our last meeting that our clerk, Councilor Munier, submitted. I had a chance to review them. There's just a few small edits I would make, but otherwise they're mostly just housekeeping items. So at this time, I'm happy to take a motion to approve those. Those are the minutes from 11/1/22.
Second.
Well, I need a motion first.
Oh, you need a motion. I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Great, and I will second that. So we have a motion for Councilor Munier and a second for myself, Councilor Zaret. All in favor, Councilor Munier?
Aye.
And I am also an aye, so minutes are approved to nothing. At this time, I will ask if there are any members of the public who wish to speak. And seeing none, we will move on with our busy agenda tonight. Next up is the Department of Public Works quarterly report. I appreciate that Director Nunnelin, with all that he and his department do 24 hours a day, can be here just to give us some updates on a few things. I think I have some questions, but I'll turn it over to you, Director, and let us know what's going on.
Sure. Well, not a lot to report tonight. We've been fortunate so far, knock on wood, with the winter weather, and we got plenty of salt in stock, and we're in good shape should weather pattern begin to change. I do have some updates for you on the Main and South Street intersection discussion, and the efforts we've taken to date there. It's not the best news, but the traffic counts that we collected back in September are actually quite a bit lower than they were when they were last collected in 2017. We saw about anywhere from 80 to 95% of the traffic that was there in 2017. So Main Street heading south, the numbers were 81% of what they were in 2017. North was 83% of what it was in 2017. And crossing on South Street, the closest was traveling north on South Street was 95% of what it was. And heading south on South Street was 85% of what it was in 2017. So that being said, with it having not met signal warrants at that point in time, it's now even further away from meeting the MassDOT signal warrants. So it doesn't mean it means it's going to be very challenging to put a signal there. We can start looking at observed speeds, given that I believe the speed limit through there is 35 miles an hour. The warrants are lower. The speed limit is 40. We can make a case in MassDOT if the observed speed is averaging over 40 miles an hour. So one of our next steps will probably be to talk to the police department about getting their data logging signs out there and seeing what observed speeds are, so that we just have that data in our toolbox to start working with MassDOT on what the best resolution is for that intersection. So we'll also need to devote some funding to our traffic engineers. We've been working with VHB on it a little bit. They help with a lot of our road improvement projects and traffic safety efforts in town. And they've done quite a bit of commenting and kind of looking at things on their face thus far, just kind of how we are. But it would be to get a really good plan and concept design for what could potentially happen there. We will need to fund that. So as soon as we can.
Any questions, Councilor? And does the rate of accidents there, does that make
that would all factor in also, but I don't think those numbers were weren't near where they needed to be. I might say they were low, but they weren't where they needed to be to really help the argument too much. So it sounds like the thing we really need to look at is observed speed at this point.
Okay, so that's just a matter of trying to assign one of those temporary signs, hopefully one of the ones
and that we can collect without, that doesn't cost the city any money to collect that data. So.
Right. Okay, that's great. Yeah, I appreciate all the efforts and focus you've put into that. Okay. Anything else?
I do have target scheduled for, which This is moving a little slower than I had hoped, but are planning to have bids out December 21st for the Holyoke Street project that we have scheduled, that we're tentatively scheduled for the spring. We'll open bids on January 18th. So that's going to include repaving Holyoke Street from Cottage to just past Allen Street, 2 RFBs, one at East Green, one at Allen, and some just pedestrian safety improvements along the sidewalks, and nicer sidewalk down to
East Green?
Allen Street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and a defined sidewalk along East Green Street along the side of the commercial building there. So I like talking about that project because it's happening. It's going to happen. So you know, it's just about completely funded. It's getting out to bid. It's taking longer. It's kind of VHB did the crosswalk, the pedestrian safety improvement design, and the intersection kind of layouts, and our in-house staff did all the milling and overlaying design work. So getting those bid specs and projects coupled together into one big contract, it's taking some effort. So it's about ready to go.
Great. Any questions about that? Anyone? I don't have any specific ones. And what else do you have for us?
We do have the temporary speed hump did arrive, and we have it at the highway department. Unfortunately, it didn't arrive until the last week of October, and we can't plow with it installed, so we have to wait till spring. But we'll get it out there. Hopefully, the weather breaks by mid-April, and we'll have it out there for I think a period of 90 days or so.
Great. And that's on
East Greenwood Court.
Greenwood Court. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's weird. My meeting closed now? Sorry. Sorry, my meeting closed. 1 second. That's weird. Okay. And anything else?
That's basically it.
Do you feel comfortable talking about Route 10 at all right now, or is that kind of too?
Well, I can tell you where we're at with our portion. That's state-controlled highway.
Yep.
We don't really oversee or have any authority on its redesign or what MassDOT decides to do there. And we'll have a chance for some input and to talk to them about what they're doing, but it's their project as far as the roadway surface is concerned. The mayor has funded design of the water and sewer infrastructure replacement from West Street to just past Alpachon Hardware, which is a major project for us. We have to get that water main upgraded there to have a better fire protection through that section of town, and our work needs that. The water and sewer infrastructure replacement needs to happen ahead of the roadway. So I like to think optimistically that we're out in front of that. I don't think MassDOT will see construction there probably until 2026, maybe 2025, and we'll be ready. I think we'll have a decent set of plans to maybe get something out to bid next summer if we can fund it. So maybe for spring of construction start spring of 24, maybe.
And in the meantime, well, actually, I'm sorry. Any questions from the other attendees? Are there options for pedestrian upgrades prior to?
The state has sent us some concepts that they're going to make. They're going to be installing a couple crosswalks and RFBs, but I don't have the exact locations.
That's fine.
Right in front of me, but those will kind of be short-term improvements that the state's going to make in the shorter term.
And I would assume that the water sewer piece, which is needed anyways, is also even more eminently critical with this proposed project at the little Tasty Top site.
Yeah, it's part of it. To have, that project isn't going to happen in a year. I think it'll be phased in multiple phases. I think we can supply the first phase without any impact whatsoever, and looking forward to being able to sell the water. But as it grows and gets bigger, yeah, we're going to need to have a larger water main through there. We're going to need to loop their system down Colonial Drive so that they're tied in 2 different spots. It's just to have that size of development needs 2 ways to serve it. So just for reliability of service.
And I would imagine with all the potential residential units in there too, it's critical that we have improved not only pedestrian safety, but also pedestrian bike access in that area, which hopefully will kind of maybe be well timed with.
Yeah, I can't really speak to, I haven't seen that they're supposed to have a traffic report to us relatively soon, within the next few weeks. I haven't seen it yet. It's like, as far as, the way I envision turning lanes and a signal there probably, but without, that will be work that we'll have some input in, but they'll need to coordinate with Mass DOT. That's exactly what the layout is. I think the Stop and Shop will have a signal and turning lanes.
Any other comments or questions for the director? I mean, while you're here, I gave you a shout out at City Council last time, but I really appreciate the quick. I know that the stars aligned to get those curb cuts at Everett. But regardless,
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't actually physically been out there yet, but I appreciate you sending the pictures.
Yeah,
I just
no, we like
appreciate it.
when we can do it, we want to go do it. It's lots of times it's just not that simple. So
Yeah.
but when it is, we'll do it.
Yeah. Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else for the director while he's here? We're still waiting for free cash, so I mean, all these conversations now about speed signs and other stuff, and I know we've had some conversations about Irving Street primarily. I don't remember I mean, there were a few others that have come up in conversation. That was the one where there was a resident had come out. We can't, those are kind of moot until we get some money moved.
Once we can talk about appropriations from free cash, I have no problem bringing them forward to have PHP or another firm take a harder look at some of the recommendations that have been made, and at Maine itself, but that's really, we have to be able to fund those. So our budget for the year is really to operate, and the extra stuff has to be happening through appropriations, as you guys.
Yep. I think that's it for me. Again, anything else? All right. Well, thank you. Let me just quickly. So we went over the speed signs. Based on our discussions from the last meeting, I'm going to go through the ordinance review committee items. There are a few that I think we could put forward to the full council for action, a public hearing, and there's a few that need to be discussed in committee. I think particularly the bicycle helmets, we'll revise that. And there was something else where I think the snow removal, there was.
Yeah, with the Stability Commission.
Yeah, so I could just set the, I'll just type some stuff up, and I still just need to get some feedback from the chief of police on, as well as the fines. So I'll put forth what I can for public hearings. The other things we'll just keep to figure it out. And
Planning to do a public hearing soon?
probably January. Yeah, I think that would be my plan. I want to be able to present. I want to type up everything.
Okay.
So yeah, probably January. So I think that, let me just look here. I mean, I think those are the major points. The UCA quick actions are still here. So does our other member have any comments? Again, we have the president here. Do you have any comments or questions? I'm happy to take a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion we adjourn.
I will second that motion. So we have a motion from Councilor Munier and a second for myself to adjourn. All in favor, Councilor Munier.
Aye.
And I am also an aye, and 2-0. This meeting is adjourned.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.